Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Marney Blunt. An update now on a story we brought you yesterday on staffing at the Dawson Creek RCMP. Some new members have joined the force and some are moving on. But a new RCMP staffing initiative could soon make it harder to get officers in the north. This has been concern among City Council, but some officers are saying it shouldn't be that hard to attract recruits to the Peace region. They're here for a few years and then off to the next place. That's how it usually works for new RCMP recruits. But a new RCMP staffing initiative can make it more difficult to get officers in remote northern areas like the Peace region.
Fresh recruits out of depot don't have to go any place they don't want to go. So they're no longer assigned anywhere. They pick. So it's unlikely. We got a lot of them previously because of the experience they could gain, but also because we were willing to pay surplus to detachment wages. Now it's going to depend on selling ourselves to recruits out of depots. So next step in that line is the same way we're addressing doctors or nurses.
And it may not bode well for Dawson Creek RCMP. During an update to City Council on Monday, Dawson Creek RCMP said while the detachment has recently gained 2 new members, one from Manitoba and one from Newfoundland, they are also losing a few. 2 current members will soon be leaving, with one going to Vernon and the other headed to Whitehorse. Another 2 members have moved on to different lines of work. Another officer will soon be moving on to work in the identification unit in Prince Rupert. Council says the new staffing initiative is a major issue for all of Northern Canada.
It may come as a surprise to some people that Dawson Creek isn't the first place of choice for most people. Recruiting in the north is very difficult in all professions and all lines of work. And I think this new policy of RCMP, the staffing department, is going to have disastrous consequences for policing, as staff just said, in all small, isolated communities.
However, Sergeant Mike Richard says Dawson Creek is an attractive place, a reason why he's been here for over 20 years.
But it's just, I didn't even know Dawson Creek existed until somebody come knocking on someone's door and said, hey, this is what we have to offer. And you know, it's served my family and me very well. So.
CAO Jim Shute says RCMP were finding a disproportionate number of RCMP recruits were quitting work when they were sent somewhere they didn't like. Shute says RCMP plan to use this new policy as a retention tool to get new recruits through a year in the service without quitting.
I'm concerned, obviously, with the discussion with Marcel and Jim last week, as the economy starts to pick up here, and as it is now, and it continues to do through 17, if we get busy again, we go back to those days when it was crazy with serious crime and drugs and gangs and all that stuff, and we're losing members, and that's the perfect storm to me in terms of what we don't want to have happen for the issue of public safety for our communities.
The city CAO says another contributing factor could be that RCMP officers are paid about 25% less than a Toronto City police officer and about 20% less than a Vancouver City police officer, making jobs in larger cities much more attractive to people who already live there. Reporting from the RCMP headquarters, Marney Blunt, CJDC-TV News, Dawson Creek.